Man, it's crazy how much is going on, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody's leaving work today at 2:00 apparently.
I saw a meme about that. There was a meme, a picture of Patrick from SpongeBob, the Patrick the Star, looking just like, and the meme was all the bosses ready to fire the blue-haired liberals that walk out of work at 2 p.m. today, and it's just Patrick just staring, looking. It's kind of funny.
The unemployment rate will go up 7,000% today. Why are they walking out again?
From what I understand, it looks like they're trying to protest labor participation involvement in a broken and corrupt system that is not being favorable toward illegal immigrants having fair opportunities at employment and work and the ability to be here in America and be welcomed as illegal criminals.
Gotcha. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
I said, let's walk out. Let's just shut down business today.
Man, if we could unite the conservative side enough to maybe protest for some changes, and that'd be kind of cool. We could definitely get rid of some fraud and some waste if we could unite like that. I feel like,
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know.
I
Anyways,
love our world.
you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
This is great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode 61 today. This is our first episode since having guest Victor Marks on with us on our last episode. That was a great conversation. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, highly encourage you to go back and listen to episode 60. It was a great episode. And today we are looking forward to diving into a whole lot of topics, but also diving into more of a structure on our episodes. And we have hinted at and talked about this in episodes past. It's been a little bit. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes here at the Daily Carry. We've got a lot of things going on, but we are excited to dive into a little bit more structure as we just frame our episodes a little bit more intentionally. And we're going to start to add some recurring segments, but don't worry, there's going to be plenty of variety in these. But the first one we're going to go through and we're about to prompt in this episode is the Daily Scroll.
Love it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're online listening, we're also going to have on the screen here, if you have the video, you'll be able to watch and go through these with us. But we are going to make a point of every episode saving some of the most relevant articles, posts, whatever it may be, on X, and we're going to be scrolling through them together, talking about them, digesting them, unpacking them. So here we have our first ever the Daily Scroll. Let's get into it. I'm going to put on the screen here a mirror, and we're going to just start going through some of these together. So first up, everybody knows there's a lot going on in Minnesota right now. A lot going on in Minnesota and in Minneapolis.
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 There we go.
There, yeah.
I actually like the extra N because up there they have a draw, so it's Minneapolis, eh?
Yeah. So first up on this scroll, we've got a post from Eric Daugherty, or Doherty. I don't know how to say this last name. But we got a post on X, and this is breaking leftists in Minnesota getting armed to stand guard against ICE. There's a video here. It's a clip of a guy armed with a weapon, and he is saying, "This is my neighborhood." And Daugherty's commentary is this Mr. Tough Guy wouldn't last 2 seconds. But this is what Tim Walz and Mayor Frey want, a shootout. It's about time to hold them accountable and charge them. As we can see this video here, this guy standing charge, making a scene, ready to take a stand against ICE. It's kind of scary times. Whenever we've got people wanting to literally arm themselves and say that they're ready and willing to stand between law enforcement and their responsibility.
Over illegal activity. Let's not forget that.
Yes.
Let's forget the punchline to it.
Yeah.
This isn't somebody standing up and saying, hey, we have a problem with legals in activities they're in. It's the fact that we are taking a stand, armed stance. By the way, did you look at his gun?
Yeah.
It's great.
It's what is that, an AR platform? Looks like an AR platform. He probably is also saying that we shouldn't be allowed to have ARs. I don't know. It's hard to get a read. We don't know what do people want these days. It's so conflicting.
I don't know. I'm all for the 2A. I'm not sure he could run from here to there, so I don't know what he's going to do. These guys come out. You start pointing guns at federal officers. This is going to escalate fast, awful, and ugly.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing for somebody to just be using their car to block ICE operations. It's a whole other thing to stand on a sidewalk with a gun on your chest and say that you are taking a standing guard against ICE. That's rough. Anyways, moving on. We've got another post from Aaron Durham here. And this is calling attention to an interview that Michelle Obama recently did. And in this interview, Michelle Obama says that she is mindful to try to avoid white-owned brands and that others also should. That is racist. And Aaron's commentary was, if the phrase, I try to avoid black-owned brands came out of a white lady's mouth, the country would have a meltdown.
Yeah, I'm going to go buy some FUBU shoes immediately after this is over.
Racism is racism. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. This is ridiculous. The double standard.
Do you think she means it?
I do. Absolutely. I think that there's a vicious attack on white people. And you see it. It's a common. They're not even suppressing it at this point. They don't care. They will just tear apart white people. How is that fair? How is that not racism? And when was the last time you saw, I mean, let's be honest, there's some racists out there. There is. But when was the last time you saw somebody really getting attention or somebody in a position of influence like this say something like that about any other race? That's white. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you don't.
I think that if we're looking at everything, I don't know why it's allowed for anybody of any color to say, hey, we don't support that color. That's racism. And just because they're a part of whatever woke movement they identify with, whatever their skin color it is, it doesn't give them a pass to say, oh, we don't identify with this color of skin because they're racist or whatever it is. That's the most racist thing ever. That is the definition of racism.
It is.
That's very double-sided.
I think the irony is lost on her.
There's a lot that could be said there, but I think that there's a lot of common sense behind it. People surely can understand this is a double standard. Moving on, we got Nick's order, and it says, breaking, a group of liberal white women, mostly, have taken over a Target in St. Paul, demanding Target stop letting ICE and Border Patrol agents use their bathrooms. Kid you not. He says, we live in a flipping clown world. Have you seen this video?
I haven't seen the video. I saw the still shot of it.
It is
people
pretty.
sitting on the floor.
They got like a little cajon.
Oh, it's a sing-along.
Yep.
With drums.
And then they just like share little.
Target says that their mission is to support the joy of everyday life for all families. Do it.
Do you shop at Target?
Not usually.
Me either.
No. I'm more of a Walmart kind of guy.
Yeah,
but we're going to talk about Walmart in all fairness here in a second too. That's on the scroll. But no, I don't really go to Target very often at all. But I mean, this is just crazy to see this little kumbaya, and then everybody's taking time to share what they think and try to get their message to Target. It's wild.
I would step, if I came in to go to Target, which I wouldn't typically do, I would have literally stood right between the girl in yellow and the girl in orange. I would have done I would have put my shopping list together while I was standing there, like right between the two of them.
This is just wild.
It's insane
that there's people protesting Target letting law enforcement agents use restrooms.
Yeah,
that is wow. Moving on, we've got another post here by Tony TM on X here, and we have. So you're telling me that we can't pray in front of an abortion clinic without going to prison, but you can storm into churches and shut down services. Read that again. And this is coming from the headline. If you didn't know, on this past Sunday, there was a bunch of people who went into a church service and protested a church service. And I'm going to just skip through the scroll here so that I can find it, because I tagged a couple of them, or I saved a couple of them on the scroll for today. Here's the video. If you have not seen the video, these protesters go into this service in the middle of a church service. People here in the middle of being there to practice their religious freedom, there to worship, sermon starting, loud, disruptive.
Oh. screamed by a white guy.
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I clarified that.
I mean, there's kids, there's
So-
families here. Look at that mom
Yeah.
taking their kid out. There's kids, if you see some of the photos, there's kids that are scared, that are like crying and don't know what's going on.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Wimble every
The
day?
preacher trying to do what he can, but obviously this is a situation well out of his control.
Yeah.
You got your jewelry,
It is
you have your nice clothes.
just despicable. And they're in people's faces with their cameras, being loud, circling, causing just total mass disruption. I really liked this take on it, that it wasn't but just 5 months ago a trans shooter killed 2 people at a Minneapolis church and wounded 30 more. That makes everything that happened yesterday that much more disgusting. And not to forget, Don Lemon was here. Don Lemon was at that protest, and he interviews the pastor.
The gay controversial.
Yes, the commentator.
So
I
he-
think he
so
used to
he
be
was-
with CNN, maybe not
He was
anymore.
part of this?
Yes, and that's also something that's on the scroll here. Let me just find it, and we'll go back to the top and keep going. I need to do a better job about ordering these.
Why is Don Lemon there?
It is wild that he was there, and he's also getting charged.
Can I take a stab at it?
Yeah, go,
Did he use the words white supremacy at all?
Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he probably did, but I don't.
He's
I don't
been
know
on
for
he's
sure.
been on a rant lately about white supremacy in America. all of
Maybe
a
I
sudden.
didn't save it from Benny Johnson here, but
Interesting.
here he is. He's literally there, and he's trying to interview the
Oh, he's
pastor.
with the pastor.
And he's being criminally charged. If you didn't see that in the headline, the Trump administration has moved for criminal charges, and Mike Davis, here he is in an interview with Benny Johnson, saying that Lemon can be hit with 2 charges of civil rights violations against white people and Christians. He built the case against himself. You can charge him twice. And there's another report of them using the KKK Act
No, okay.
to charge Don Lemon for
Yeah, that was put in
being
place
there
for a
and
reason to
participating.
get rid of white supremacy.
So it's pretty crazy times we're living in. I mean, come on. Going into a church service and causing mass disruption for what? For what?
I just kept hearing Renee Good's name screamed. I thought people were past that. I thought they saw the third video from the angle where the ICE officer got run into and drug.
Some of the reports I've seen were saying that there was reports of ICE agents potentially attending this church, and there being some ICE agents there. That maybe there was word that got out that some of them attended there, and so they're showing up, protesting, screaming Renee Good, screaming whatever they're screaming, and Don Lemon's there, clearly a part of this thing, and now getting charged.
He'll claim freedom of the press though.
Maybe
He will.
Uh,
He'll claim he was reporting.
Yeah.
I'll bank on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's the fallback. Go out, stir the pot, incite the riot, then come back and say, I was just covering the story. It's a I don't even need to know the story, and I can predict that narrative.
anyways, enough Don Lemon. Regardless or not, at least the charge is there, and he's going to have something that he's going to have to fight, whether he claims free press and gets off the hook or not.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they're trying to hold him accountable for clearly doing something that should not be done. You don't go into a church service and cause mass disruption, kids and families there, and total disregard.
Sure.
Over just 5 months ago, somebody goes in and shoots people. You don't do that at a church service. You don't bring protesters. You don't bring that radical, violent narrative, and you don't bring someone like Don Lemon in when there's churches, there's kids and families there trying to worship, and you're there disrupting, screaming, inciting violence. That's my take on it. It's
I agree.
ridiculous.
I also look at it just from the logistics. There were like 30 people.
a lot of people.
So Don had a really, really big following there.
Yeah.
30 whole people showed up. Wow. Like that's quite a movement you got going on. So you're going to come in, disrupt the service, assume that ICE agents attend there. And then that was the manpower you could come up with. It's so funny to listen to all the rhetoric and all the we're tough. And, I see stuff like that and go, Somebody asked me the other day, hey, what if they showed up at our church? The first thing I would do, if there was 30 of them like that, 28 of you can stay out of the curb. You stay on the curtilage of the property, you're not coming on the property, you come on the property, I'm going to arrest you for trespass. I'm going to invite 2 of you in, though. I want you to come in, but you don't get to run your mouth. Like, you get to come in, you get to observe, you get to be just like every other person that's coming in here, and you can see what we're all about. And if you don't like it, go back and write a story on it. That's fine. I would never let you come in and disrupt the service, but I would love to be able to get a little discipleship going on. Let's bring you in. Let you see what we're all about. Instead of standing there screaming and yelling and having no idea what you're talking about. I'm not going to bring the whole group in. But I'd love to bring a couple people in and just let them sit there and just absorb. Here's some coffee. Here's the food. Come in, listen to the message. If you don't like it, you can report later you didn't like the message. That's fine. But there's a proper way to do that.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. The other 28, sit out on the curb and freeze.
Agreed.
I'll love you through it, but I'm also going to draw a line.
All right. Well, moving on in the Daily Scroll here, we've got a Maha tip for us. That's a good one. Robert Kennedy Jr. has been dropping these pretty much daily. Do you know mouthwash doesn't just kill bad breath, it also kills nitric oxide, producing bacteria your body needs. That means higher blood pressure, worse circulation, broken biology. Stop nuking your mouth. Take it from RFK Jr. Maha tip of the day.
Maha tip of the day. I use mouthwash and dish soap and some kind of ag thing, and it makes my lawn really green.
Interesting.
Yeah. Found it online, found it on YouTube. Never not had green grass ever since I used it. It's amazing.
I heard spray paint works pretty good for that too.
Makes it
Green spray paint.
green spray paint. You'll always have green grass.
All right.
This is fun. I love the headlines because I opened up this morning and I got to headline number 100 and I couldn't find anything even remotely worthwhile.
All right. Here's one from Representative Anna Paulina Luna. The same politicians who forced you to show proof of vaccination to eat in public now claim that it's racist to ask for proof of citizenship.
Sorry.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Oh. Yeah. Where's your mask? Yeah, you don't need to prove that you can vote or drive or whatever.
Kind of in this exact same vein, another tweet here from Eric is just in. Elon Musk endorses Speaker Johnson and Steve Scalise passing an improved version of the SAVE Act that requires photo voter ID on top of citizenship to vote. No excuse. Pass it. The House and the Senate must move quickly. This is so important. We've got to get this through. Voter ID should just be common sense.
Yeah, kind of like term limits.
The hypocrisy behind show me your vaccine, show me your vaccine card. I remember being in the kind of the height of COVID. My wife and I, we were in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans for New Year's, turning from 2020 to 2021. We could hardly go anywhere and eat because we're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
We could hardly go anywhere and get served because they were always asking for your vaccine card. That is such hypocrisy. You got to show a vaccine card to get served. Oh, you don't need to show that you have a voter ID to vote.
Yeah.
What? We've got to have voter ID in place. That has to be a given. If you're in this country legally, you should want your vote to be protected.
Yeah.
The only way for it to be protected is if only people that vote are people that are here legally, people that are citizens, and people that have ID to prove that they are here legally.
I'd have to do it in Mexico.
Do what?
I'd have to prove it.
Oh, you'd have to prove it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to prove it everywhere.
My son has to prove it in Japan right now. Why he's there. Has to. They follow him. They come over and knock on the door on day 90 and say, hey, got to leave for a day and come back. You can renew your visa for 90 days. Like, oh, by the way, if you don't, here's what happens. Only in America, my friend.
Yeah.
Welcome to the United States, the land of the offended. I love it. I love it. I love my country. I just love watching stuff like this, especially the Dom Lemon thing still just cracks me up. I think he got 4 words before he went into something that a 8th grader would say. And he's trying to talk about validity and stature and strength and leadership. And, it's like, dude, you're the most feckless human being. Unbelievable.
Here's another one that I thought was pretty funny. Liberals want a woman president, but can't define what a woman is.
Mm-hmm.
So how will they know when they have a woman president? How will they know? Interesting. Another interesting one. President Trump. All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. Think about that. Can't buy alcohol without ID.
Yeah.
Can't buy cigarettes without ID.
Yeah.
Can't buy a lot of places. You can't buy matches. You can't buy a knife. You can't buy things that people set policies in their stores. We're not going to sell these products unless they show ID. You go into a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. It's for one reason, because they want to cheat.
Sure. It's the easiest way to cheat. I don't get a King Soopers discount without my King Soopers card.
Yeah.
That's not even ID. That's just a card.
Mm-hmm.
Save 40 cents, use your card. Don't have your card, you don't save 40 cents. I don't understand the difficulty in this at all.
Voter ID. All right, moving on to another one here. Peace and public safety in Minneapolis. We have arrested over 10,000 criminal, illegal aliens who were killing Americans, hurting children, and raining terror in Minneapolis because Tim Walz and Jacob Frey refused to protect their own people and instead protect criminals. In the last 6 weeks, our brave DHS law enforcement have arrested 3,000 criminal aliens, including vicious murderers, rapists, child pedophiles, and incredibly dangerous individuals. A huge victory for public safety. There is massive fraud in Minneapolis, at least $19 billion, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Our Homeland Security investigators are on the ground in Minneapolis conducting wide-scale investigations to get justice for the American people who have been robbed blind. Make America safe again. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there.
Dude, $19 billion?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
I read an article about 5 years ago, that said if we took $1 billion and because it was when they were doing the whole defund the police, and how from a payroll standpoint, how many officers we could add nationwide with $1 billion. And it was something like 2.1 something per agency. So regardless of how big your agency was, they were just doing the math of just total agencies. So it was like 2.1. To cover their academy, pay, health, $2.1 billion. $19 billion in waste. One state. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That is crazy. I actually have a friend that's in Homeland Security, and he's been in Minneapolis. He just got back. It sounds like they might have to go back again.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much they're continuing to uncover there. But also, if you watch some of these videos, I don't know if I saved one on the scroll for today. I'll maybe try to find one for the next episode. But there was a video I saw of an ICE agent, and he's rolling down his window to tell people that are protesting, hey, by the way, the guy that you guys are trying to protect and you're protesting us arresting, he's a pedophile.
Yeah.
He is a child sex offender, and you guys are trying to defend this guy, and you're trying to keep us from arresting this guy.
Yep.
Guys, common sense. Criminals need to be put into custody.
Yeah.
And people who are here in our country illegally, they need to be held accountable for being criminals.
They're having them over for dinner with the kid's birthday party, apparently, in the neighborhood. I mean, what else do you do? So you know the guy's down the street and you're honking and doing all the stuff you're doing to alert him to help the guy get away. What did you just help get away? I mean, like, I seriously, I get to see her be cynical all day long, and I want to show love, I want to embrace, but there's a point where you look at the stuff and you're just like, if I always go to context to perspective of time frame. So I'm 57. You would have never, in your wildest dreams, you're a young guy. Let's go back before your birth. Let's just go back 30 years ago. You would have never seen these headlines. Never. None of this stuff would have ever been. If a story like that popped up, it would be mainstream media news for a week straight. It wouldn't be on a scroll that would last 60 seconds till the next story comes up. And there would be like full-blown investigations, arrests made, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nowadays, it's just kind of like shock value. Yeah. It's like, what's the best headline we can put out there? And people are like, is this even real? And you'll find it's real. And you're like, that's real. There's nothing I can do. And you move on. 30 years ago, that had never been the case. Ever.
Yeah. Well, here's some of the issues too that we're facing, even with these illegal aliens getting put into custody. This is a post here that's talking about how long and complicated can the deportation process be. It shows this video of this Haitian gang member with 17 convictions who went viral for yelling "F Trump, Biden forever" during my embed with ICE Boston 1 year ago. This is a question mark. So this is Bill who's posting from his point of view here. So anyways, this Haitian gang member, he's still in custody in the U.S. Over a year has passed. He's still in custody. Despite having a deportation order, Bill says he's told he continues to use every legal avenue and appeal to try to avoid deportation. Talking about a Haitian gang member with 17 convictions. He's currently detained by ICE at a facility in Louisiana. And we witnessed him getting arrested by ICE in Boston on January 22nd, 2025. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Our legal system clearly needs an overhaul in a lot of different fronts. But here's something that really puts a lot of this into perspective, because here we have so many people protesting, outrages, all of these kinds of responses from people on the left that are standing up, as they call it, making protests, sitting on the floor in Target, making protests by way of interrupting church services, getting violent on the streets. We've seen videos of them literally ganging up on people, tearing up their clothes, beating them up. They are very much of a mob mentality right now. But what's so important to understand is you got to see the hypocrisy behind this. Because if you look at Barack Obama, his ICE chief got an award for 920,000 removals. Donald Trump, ICE agent, ICE chief, he gets called a Nazi. It's the same person. Tom
Same guy.
Homan.
Yeah.
The exact same person.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
In 2012, Obama deported 409,000. And in 2025, Trump deported 290,000.
Yeah.
The difference is the mainstream media brainwashing.
Yeah.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, mainstream media just needs to go away. They really do. We're gonna excel so fast with the Nick Shirleys of the world. Mainstream. I really believe mainstream media will become irrelevant. I do. I genuinely do. I don't think you're going to see any portion of what they are now a year from now. There'll be trinkets. There'll be holdouts. There'll be little things here or there. But I think they're done.
Let's hope so.
Well, the truth is revealing itself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where people live. I haven't look. I've done my own little Harris poll. I've gone out and I'm like, hey, last time you watched media, not online. I don't mean pulling something up. I'm just saying, like, when's the last time you turned on TV and watched media? I can't find a human being that's done that. I bet I've had 100 conversations. Now, there are people who will pull stuff up online, absolutely, because that's the news source. But the news is dead. It's dead.
Kind of switching gears to a different topic here. ChatGPT has now been linked to 9 deaths tied to its use. And in 5 cases, its interactions are allegedly to have led to death caused by suicide, including teens and adults. This is a post on X. Elon actually reshared this, but this is concerning. And I've actually heard, I think it was a podcast I was listening to that was talking about chat and the algorithms that chat uses. And it might have been Tucker Carlson whenever he had Sam Altman, the ChatGPT guy, on his show, talking about exactly this. And it is scary. So it's important for anybody who's out there to understand, if you're a parent and you have a kid that's ever showing any signs of depression, make sure that they're not just leaning into ChatGPT. There's concerns. We can't just let AI talk our kids on or off of a ledge. That's not ChatGPT's job.
Yeah.
That is we got to lean into each other in culture and society now more than we ever have. You know, we want to make sure that people are getting support and getting the help that they need. And clearly there's some red flags surrounding AI being, oh, bless you,
thank you.
AI being relied on, and very likely not something that should be relied on. So Thought that was an interesting headline.
It is, yeah. I said a little while ago, if you can't touch it, taste it, smell it, feel it, probably shouldn't trust it unless it's sitting right in front of you. It's so hard to tell anymore. So, video after video, you're pulling stuff up, and they're showing these protests out in the street, and then all of a sudden you look closely at the badge and the cop. It's like somebody from India, just fake.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what you
don't know.
half the time you just don't know. I mean, we could be pulling stuff up here and going, is this real? We're just in such strange times. That's why I'm so grateful for salvation.
Continuing the scroll here, we have a video. It says, watch closely. A leftist mob swarms a random car in Minneapolis just because they suspect the driver is conservative, and they become so violent that the driver has to run in fear. Literally no reason, just instant violence. It is not a protest. It's a hunting party. They scream, "We got this flag," as they attack. The violence is real. The targets are clear. And the media shamelessly does an absolute cover-up. Here's the video.
Oh, do you know what this is? I know exactly what this is.
What is it?
So this guy got stabbed. So this is part 2. Jake something or other is...
I saw that report of that guy, too. That guy kind of looks like... I don't know if... Is he in that car?
Yes. So this is his exfil vehicle. So what happened was he was down there covering... He got attacked. He got stabbed.
I saw that.
So a young black male comes in and is pushing the crowd away, who was, if I understood correctly, was actually one of the protesters at one point, saw this guy get cut and said, and I could have this wrong. This is what I read online. And again, can't verify everything. But I did see the video where he was in front of
Jake Lang.
And he grabbed him and he gets him out to cover. So he gets him out of the foxhole. They get him to this car, and then that's the part 2 of it. They find the car. These people just lost their minds, man. I mean, I'm just going to go back to, I don't sit down and advocate violence, but I'm telling you right now, if you're in fear for your life and you're in a situation like that, you're going to place people in a position where they're just going to start dropping rounds. It's going to become unavoidable.
Here we go. Here's the video of Jake Lang.
So he's already been hurt at this point in time.
Yeah.
And this guy that looks like he's grabbing him is actually trying to help him. The guy in the gray jacket. He's trying to get him out.
Yeah, you can see that.
And he's got no help.
Yeah.
When somebody comes up to me, by the way, I'm not going to rabbit trail this very far, but when somebody comes up and says, how hard does EP work? Have you ever tried to move through a crowd? Just move through a crowd. Doesn't even have to be a violent crowd.
Yeah.
Just moving your package through the crowd is way harder than people think.
So I don't know much about Jake Lang. I've seen a couple videos of him being quite an antagonist. So I don't know the entire situation. Obviously, if he's just there protesting and the other people are there protesting, both people have their legal rights to protest, and both people have an obligation to make sure that that doesn't lead to violent protests that leads to being a criminal. And obviously he, in that video, was violently attacked, and I saw that headline that he had been stabbed as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that potentially could have been his exfil video. I didn't see him in the video.
Yeah, he's in the back of the car.
Is that him? Is that him?
Yeah, they're trying to get to him. So this is where the driver should have been making speed bumps.
Is he in there, though? I don't see him in there.
I mean, everything I watched on it, it sounded like he was hunkered down in the back seat in the floorboard.
Huh. Interesting. Let's see if there's any comments that talk about him in there. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's comments. Not just random cards. The one Jake Lang escaped in. Interesting. Crazy.
You know what you got to do in that? So you're watching that.
Yeah.
So let's say he's an antagonist. He's going down. He's doing whatever he's doing. Take that out for just a second and go back to that video we talked about a few episodes back where the woman was driving home, turned onto a street, and all of a sudden there was she got 100 yards down the street, and all of a sudden all these people flood out in front of her. They were doing something to somebody else, but she just happens to drive up on it. When they surrounded her car, man, I'm telling you right now, and they had law enforcement involvement there too. This wasn't just a gang. Like, the cops were trying to get her out. There were people kicking, throwing stuff at her windows. This is like a 60-year-old woman. She is crying. She's shaking. They're just trying to get her turned around. That right there, I cannot describe this. Looking at the camera, and I'm just like, man, you are going to get smoked. Smoked. If that's me and my wife, and I get entrapped and I can't move, and they're beating my vehicle and trying to gain entry, I'm going into 4 high and 700 horsepower. And I'm going to leave a trail. And people are like, well, you would do that? Oh, yeah. You better believe I would do that. Mob mentality, I don't get the luxury of predicting what 200 people are going to do that are enraging another 200 around them. I don't get that luxury.
Yeah.
And if it's a simple mistake of turning onto a roadway and nobody's going to let me go, I'll do my best to hit my horn and back up slowly and do it. But you start coming at me through my vehicle, man, it is game over at that point in time, because it's going to be game over for me. I don't need to advocate violence. I'm advocating self-defense. If you are placed in fear of your life, you have a right to defend yourself. If they are knowingly, willingly, and intentionally attacking you, placing you and or your loved ones or others in fear of their life, you have a right to defend yourself to the death.
Yeah.
And we need to start talking about this stuff. I don't need to advocate for it. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. You're going to hear a whole lot of Chevy modular small block coming over the top of you. And I ain't going to be slowing down until I know I'm free and clear and the threat is stopped.
Yeah.
Period.
It's okay. We're about to get into the next segment. Hot take, cold truth. So we're gonna dive more into this.
Am I going to go up or down on this?
We got just a couple more. We got a little extra on the daily scroll here today, and we're gonna dial this more and more in if you're listening, and get through heavy hitting scrolls, but also some of the more fun ones. But we should have a few more here. Here's one that was what I remember earlier. I promised when we were talking about Target. Don't worry, we're still gonna go in on Walmart. Here's this. This video is pretty crazy. It says that this guy says basically you can pick up anything at Walmart, walk it over to the scale, and its weight will be marked high. So he picks up a ham. He shows that it's marked on the ham 5.34 pounds. He walks over to the scale, weighs it. It's 2.24 pounds. Americans are being robbed blind. That's what this post says. So here we have the video. The guy literally goes.
Through it a little bit, pick anything out. Let's go weigh this one on the scale. They're saying this ham here, what is it? Kentucky Legend ham? They're saying this ham right here, this little bitty ham, is 5.34 pounds. Let's take it to the
Well, I can tell you it's not just by looking at it.
Yeah, that's a tiny piece of ham. That is not 5-pound ham. That is. And then look, puts it on the scale, 2.24 pounds.
Yeah. So what they're hoping is that people will just scan the barcode and pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not hoping, doing.
Yeah.
What's amazing, what's crazy is this. I looked at some of the comments on here, and it says that there was actually a class action suit that happened, I think, in 2024. I guess it wasn't a comment. It was something else tied to this, that they settled. They paid out a bunch of money, Walmart did, and clearly it must still be going on. It's nuts. Can you imagine that? That's literally twice how much it weighs. That means twice what it should actually cost.
I didn't see the cost on it, but let's call it $5 just for simple math. And imagine they sell 25,000 of those nationwide daily. And that's one SKU.
Yeah.
Yeah, start doing the math now. This is why I said it, I don't know, 6 minutes ago. Mainstream media is dead. This is where people are going to be living, right here. They're going to see this, and they're going to make an informed decision off of that. Because the media will roll out in their highfalutin, I always love the Channel 9 News weather truck that drives around. That's the pretend four-wheel drive. They show up, and it looks like it's going to conquer a tornado. These guys get out. It's a big production to go do something like that. This guy's doing it on his iPhone, and this thing is posted in 30 seconds. Mainstream media is done.
Yeah.
You can't compete with this. You can't. You can't compete in real time with this.
Agreed. Ending the daily scroll today. The most important news you'll see today. Here's a post from Benny Johnson. This is an older post. This was a while back. But it says, there is a Christian revival happening across the country. Bible sales up 41%. Spiritual app downloads up 79%. Christian music streams up 50%. God is good. This is how we win. So, greatest discipleship opportunity of our lifetime. We're living in it.
Yep.
You know why? Because in a world with so many hot takes, we need the cold truth. And that's a perfect segue into our next segment here. Hot take, cold truth. For those listening, this is going to be your first time to hear, but we're going to dig a little bit further into whether it's one of the headlines, whether it's kind of blending all the headlines. But here's our hot take on what's going on in the world. We're going to start there. Hot take. You want to go first?
Hot take. People have lost focus, critical thinking, discernment, wisdom, common sense. They're running at the next shiny penny. They're always going to continue doing that until they find purpose in their life. They need a circle of people around them to come alongside, to help wake them up a little bit, to realize that all of this advocacy is all it's going to do is just make them have a heart attack or stroke out at some point down the road. They have no purpose right now. Their purpose is in the next fast thing.
Exactly. That would be my hot take for sure. And I accidentally put the wrong camera on. Sorry, guys. We were still getting stuff put together.
This is a trial episode, but by the next one, this is going to be cool. This will be the coolest episode on social media.
Oh yeah, this is we got a lot of intentionality behind what we're doing here. So stay with us online. My hot take would be exactly that. People are searching for purpose in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
People are so desperate for purpose that they're willing to just hit the streets hollering, playing their cajon to "We won't stop till ICE is gone." They're looking for purpose and identity. They're looking for a cause to stand for, but they're looking for the wrong cause.
Yeah.
They're willing to be up at arms for just about anything. And if the narrative switches, they switch the cause. You know what that leads to? It leads to a life that's so confusing. It leads to no integrity, no conviction, because you're just going with the wind. You're just going with whatever the new narrative is. Whatever Donald Trump did today, now we oppose that. If Donald Trump cures cancer today, we oppose that. If Donald Trump figures out how to make our nation prosperous, no way. We need to suffer. And then if Donald Trump came down and said it's time to suffer, they'd say, no way. We need to. It's just this narrative of standing against something. We're looking for purpose in all the wrong things. We've got so many people looking for purpose in conflict.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
Sure.
Our purpose is not supposed to come from just opposing everything in this world.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to just come from being at odds and at constant conflict with everyone that's around us.
Yeah.
That's a trap.
So what's the cold truth?
So the cold truth. I'll go first on the cold truth,
Okay,
I guess.
hit it.
The cold truth is we are on this planet for one reason alone. We have one purpose, one, and that is only by intention of our design, and it's only by intention of what we have been created to do, which is revealed in who our Creator is. That is my cold truth. That is what the cold truth, that is the truth that this world needs. And it sounds a little odd to call it the cold truth. It's only cold because it's a hot take. So keep it in mind. Cold truth, maybe some people need a dose of the cold truth and they need the reality. The reality is you will be miserable and you will always be leaping from one thing to another, wandering aimlessly without true identity, without true purpose until you lean in to the only truth that matters. Yeah. And that is that you have a creator. And that creator created you with a purpose. That purpose is to walk with him and to walk toward him, not away from him. And as we walk toward him, we lead others there with us.
Amen. My take, I'm going to do a John Eldridge thing. He always takes a movie and a clip and shows an example. I don't remember if it was Hang 'em High or A Few Dollars More or whatever. It was a Clint Eastwood movie where he walks out and there's a bunch of dudes standing outside in the roadway, and they're challenging I think it was the local preacher, I believe. And Clint Eastwood walks out with a big old stick and just starts smarting people up, man. He's just tuning them up. And he gets to the end of it and he looks over and he's like, man, he stares at it. He goes, there ain't nothing like a good piece of hickory. Sometimes you got to get smacked in the face, physically, metaphorically, or otherwise, to wake up. And salvation, everything you just said, yep, you got to find your purpose. But every once in a while, you're going to have somebody come in that are going to wake you up in their own way. And right now, where we're at in this country, the cold hard truth is some people need to get woke up. And they need to be woken up spiritually, emotionally, relationally, and a lot of different stuff. And there's a few people out there that are hurting people and going after people and they need to be held to account. And that to me is what's coming next. We're going to see a hard shift into the justice system from culture.
I like it. Shifting gears to the EDC segment. Everyday carry. What do we got in our pockets this week? Man, I left my keys downstairs. But that would have been my what's in my pocket. Obviously, my wallet and my keys. All my keys. I keep the Gerber dime. Some of you online, if you've been watching, listening long enough, you know that's what I carry, the Gerber dime. It's a nice little compact multi-tool. It's got pretty much everything I need on there. And then my daily carry for today is my usual SIG P365, the very first one that ever came out, 12+1, 9mm. And I've been carrying that for a long time. I've got lots of rounds through it, very comfortable with it. And thankful for a good gun to be able to have on my hip in a world like we're living in. Pray to God that I never have to use it, but I want to be prepared to defend innocence if there ever is a time where I have to stand between evil and good. I want to be prepared to do it. I want to be prepared to do it in a way that is very mindful of what we believe in, taking an approach here and all the tactics that we teach, de-escalation, absolutely first and foremost. But if I have to be able to use it, I want to be able to use it well, get the job done, and be able to stand in that gap between good and evil.
Dude, we got some cool training stuff coming up that we're getting ready to launch. A couple affiliation things that we're trying to sort out right now. You know, some logistics involved in insurance, but it'll come to fruition quickly. Mine, I actually shifted up today. I went back old school. So this is a Springfield XDM, 9mm, 19+1. That's why I carry this. It's a 3.8 model. It fits my hand perfect. Love it. This is the best feeling gun I've got in my hand. I got my share of guns, 1911s and 45s. Whatnot. I just love the backstrap, the feel of that gun, 19+1. So I shifted up a little bit today. I've been doing 15+1 and 13+1, depending respectively which Hellcat I'm carrying. But I went 19.1 today. I wanted to feel a little something, I don't know, a little something like just right here.
Yeah.
Full. Just it felt full today. So
let's have a little bit of fun with the EDC segment before we just rush on to the next segment here. What is one piece of gear that you're loving lately?
That I'm loving lately?
Loving. Piece of EDC that you are just, man, super glad to have it, super glad to have bought it. You use it often, and it's a great buy.
It's a 6.2 tuned Chevy 1500 long bed 4-door that goes, it'll actually pull a 13-second flat quarter mile. I take it off road. I keep a few things in it that I utilize, but it is absolutely part of my daily carry. It's not just my transportation, but it is a tool. It is a functional tool, and I use it a lot.
Man, good for you, because the next question is, what is something you regret buying? Well, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum over here today because my Power Wagon is sitting in the driveway and I need to replace the starter.
No.
It won't start. So moral of the story, I guess I should have bought a Chevy.
Hey, everybody's got their preference. Back in the day when I grew up, Ford, Chevy, Dodge was a thing. Oldsmobile and Pontiac were sitting out there in the periphery. Nowadays, it's an anything kind of deal. I do look at my truck as a tool. I use it for a lot of different things.
You and me both, and in all fairness, my truck has been beat to smithereens.
You've
man.
worked that thing, man.
That truck has been messed up. Also clawed in the side by Wolverine, a.k.a. Sarah, my lovely wife, as she ran into a fire hydrant. We don't need to talk about that. But, yeah, my truck has been a workhorse. I would say the same thing. A truck is pretty crucial, pretty essential. Although something that I have been thinking about that was just brought up in a passing conversation. Not really passing. It was a real. I was in the conversation. We were talking a little bit about EMPs and how there's very few vehicles out there that are EMP resistant. Not to get too tinfoil hattish on anybody out there, but if an EMP hit, there's a very, very limited line of vehicles that would actually be effective at all with large scale EMP. So that's something to think about. But a truck is a very useful piece of equipment. Yeah. I love my truck because it's got a 12,000-pound winch built into the front, comes factory with it, and that winch gets used often, whether it's to haul an elk out of the woods or whether it's to string an elk up into a tree or whether it's just to get me out of a bad spot because I thought I could take that road that I probably shouldn't have taken. So good stuff on that. And that is going to be something that we more regularly implement in the structure we're going through today. For all those listening, this is something that we're really going to try to tune in, dial in, get very intentional of, have overlays, have a good production online, and just make every single episode hit home, hit hard, and cover a lot of material. And this next segment, we're going to intentionally go into talking about some of these scenarios that we need to be prepared for, because that's part of what we cover in the Daily Carry podcast. We talk about preparedness, obviously through the lens of faith. Number one, we got to have those boots of peace, prepared with the gospel of peace, ready to go wherever we go. That's first and foremost, but we also got to be prepared. And so we're going to talk about these situations pretty often. And this next segment that's going to be recurring is, what if it popped off tonight?
Ooh.
What if it popped off today? What if it happened? So for today, the scenario we're going to lay out is, what if tonight there was the worst snowstorm that there had ever been where you're at, power's out, snow is blocking you in. Are you ready? What if this happened tonight? You got enough food, don't know how long it's going to take for the snow to melt, don't know how long it's going to take to be able to have access to even get to your vehicle outside. You are locked in at home. You are locked in at home. What do we need? What do we have? Are we prepared?
I actually experienced this in 2003. Anybody that lived out here knows what I'm talking about. We had a rainstorm that came in, and they said, hey, rain, mist coming tomorrow. Next thing you know, maybe flurries. 4 days later, 65 inches, 80 inches in parts of Elbert County. We were flying in hay to feed cattle that were stuck, like up to their necks in the snow. So kind of been there, done that. From that standpoint, if it was my neighborhood, I've got a Jeep that goes through most things, but if it's that kind of depth, I've got a Jenny, I've got the food, I've got the capability to. Well, let me put it this way: I'm going to be the coolest guy in the neighborhood for a couple different reasons. Because I've got a movie collection on DVD.
You said that,
and I've
before.
got 2 DVD players, and so we'll have a kids DVD player and we'll have an adult DVD player, and the neighbors can come over and we'll Jenny outside or smoke it outside or wood fire it outside, and we'll provide meals and love and support and all the movies you can handle, because I've got them into the hundreds. I've got a couple ATVs that'll handle about 15, 18 inches of snow. So back in 2003, I took my ATV to the store to get food.
Yeah.
When nobody could get out and nobody could move, I found guys that had sleds and ATVs, and we went and made it happen.
That's cool. That's cool. I think that in this kind of a scenario, obviously we're talking about a snowstorm. We're talking about getting locked in. So, man, you probably want to be ready with a secondary source of heat.
Yep.
That's probably pretty huge. I've got a couple of different heaters. I've got electric. I've got propane. I've got a couple of different heaters ready to go. I think that's important. And it's important to have some contingencies. And, I mean, the power's out. Sometimes that also can cause some troubles with your furnace. A lot of furnaces are reliant on power. Some of them have a backup. Some of them have a backup battery that they can run the heat with the gas. But if there's any issue and you need heat and you're in a snowstorm, that's a very important consideration. Heat, and then food, water. What if the pipes freeze? What if you don't have the water drawn? You got to have maybe a little bit of a store of water to be able to get you through. Now, listen, this is not to be tinfoil hat. We're talking about fun situations, fun scenarios online, making sure that we maybe can be realistically prepared if there is a situation or a scenario we find ourselves in, which could very realistically happen. And this is not obviously doomsday, which we can talk about on a whole other episode. We'll kind of grow and throw different situations in. And on that, we want to ask more than ever for online participation from viewers. If you've got an idea for any of these segments, if you've got any scenarios, if you've got any comments or feedback, we want that online. Make sure to comment, lean into that section, and leave your feedback and share suggestions and join the conversation with us. But food, this is what I would say. What I have is I've got one of those Plano or Plamo, whatever it is. It's a hard tub, and I keep it filled. It's kind of like a go tub. It's filled with some gear. It's filled with some heaters. It's filled with some hand warmers, foot warmers, and it's filled with a tub of like a 30-day supply of freeze-dried food.
Oh, yeah.
And I just keep that, and that's sitting in the garage, so it's ready to go. If we were in a lockdown at the house, if we had to go, we'd throw it in the truck. It's got a lot of stuff in there to be able to make do, right? And the thing about a snowstorm is the water is kind of an easy equation.
Yeah,
you go outside, get some snow melted down, and there you go. You've got water, you got food. So some fun considerations just to make sure that we're leaning into some of these things of how prepared are we if this happened? If it happened today, if it happened tonight, what would we do? How well prepared are we?
Dude, 2 bags of bread and 4 packs of lunch meat and a couple things of cheese will get you through 2 weeks even if you didn't ration. So it's not a food thing. I think for most people, it would be more of a hypothermia thing. You know, you get a big snowstorm and let's just say it drops into like sub-zero temperatures for a week or 2, then it's dangerous. You know, then you got a real problem. But if you got what you're talking about, yeah, you can get through. But shoot, if it's going down to the teens and 20s here in Colorado, as dry as it is, even with a massive snowstorm, you got extra blankets, you know.
Yeah.
Huddle up, have a good time, do sing-alongs, get a Jenny, watch some movies, grill outside, make s'mores, bring a positive attitude into it. You know, you what are you down? 48, 72 hours, 96 on the high side. Who cares? Yeah. If it's super sub-zero temperatures, there's heroes out there. There's dudes that don't wear capes that are going to come to the rescue of the neighbors. We did this in 03. I mean, I don't know how many people we evac'd out of the middle of Elbert County and how much livestock that we airlifted out. But the National Guard came in and brought snowcats to us so we could physically get to people's homes because there was literally 5 feet to 7 feet of snow, depending on where you were at on the plains. That's taller than I am tall, or deeper than I am tall. You know, it's like trying to drive through that. You don't. Yeah. You can't even snowmobile through that stuff. We ended up having to snowcat it, or helicopter it. So that was a crazy storm. Glad I experienced it. Taught me a lot. But we were locked into the sheriff's department for 4.5 days. It was us going on the snowcats rescuing people. But yeah, I never made it home in 4.5 days. Yeah, so it's being equipped.
Fun segment there. I like that. I think that's going to be a fun piece of the conversation to add to these episodes and the structure that we do regularly. But this next segment, we are going to dial in the name and going to lean into it. But if you've got any suggestions online what we should call this, let us know. Let us know what we should call this. I think for now, maybe we lean into calling it something like the deep dive, maybe the daily deep dive, dive deeper, something like that. This is where we're going to ask a very relevant question to all the listeners. We're going to answer it ourselves, and we're going to answer very honestly, and we're going to dive into a more deep layer of the conversation, which obviously is going to mostly be from the lens of faith. But let's talk about this. Let's ask this question for this segment today. What's the biggest lie men believe right now?
Man. If I was going off of the men's group that we have Monday, they're not valued, not respected, not good enough, and they're being told that they're not. They're being emasculated in that, you know, this feminist sit-in, liberal silliness and Target, people are succumbing to it, so they feel that they're not good leaders. They feel like they're not stand up enough. They're not fighting the good fight because the world is beating them down, and they're tuning into it and starting to accept it as opposed to standing in the face of evil and standing strong. So I would say it's probably right now, from social media to mainstream media to culture to even in church, I think guys are being emasculated. I think they're being called away from the providential elements of what God created them to be, who they should be, how they should be, and then lead in that way. And I think also many men have lost the playbook. They don't understand what the playbook is.
Well said. The biggest lie, man. I would like to just lean into my own experience, my own life, as to some of the things that, looking back, I realized that was lies. That was a lie that I was being led to believe. And I think that one of the battles that every man faces and struggles with is definitely self-worth. It's definitely, am I really worth this? Am I really the man for the job? Can I really do this? The biggest lie I think that men believe is whenever we ask ourselves those questions, the biggest lie is that we're supposed to just rely on ourselves alone, that we can bootstrap it, that we can do it, that we can just will our way through life. I think that's the biggest lie. That's been the biggest lie for me looking back. I think that's the biggest lie for a lot of the men in the men's group, is the lie that we believe is we can do it alone. We can't, and we're not meant to do it alone. We're meant to lean on our Savior. There's a scripture that says, whatever your hands find to do, do with all your might. That's our hands. That's what we can control. That's what we can manipulate. That's what's physical. And it's scriptural, and there is principle and doing all that we do as well as we can and leaning into our effort. But there's also a limitation to our effort, because there's another scripture that says, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So clearly we're not supposed to just rely on our might. We're supposed to be able to lean into and rely on God's might, and then also lock shields with brothers around us and bear one another's burdens. So I think the biggest lie is that we have to go it alone. We got to dig deep into ourselves and just will into existence this person that we're supposed to be or this work that we're supposed to do. Whenever it's very much so a lie that we're supposed to do it alone. We're not supposed to do it alone.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Well stated. Excuse me, well stated. Eli said it on the show. He quoted the usual suspects, but I will refer back to that for just a second. He says the greatest lie that's ever been told is the devil making everybody think that he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. Moving on, we got some guys showing up for class right now, so we got to start wrapping up. A little bit rushed, but that's okay. We're almost at the end here. So one of the last segments before concluding is red flag, green flag. One red flag we're seeing in culture, men, life, and then one green flag we're seeing, something hopeful. Just stated.
It would kind of go back to my last answer. I think that the biggest red flag that I see right now is men feeling inferior and not knowing which way to go. The green flag that I see is you also have a subset of men that are saying that's a bunch of crap and nonsense. Follow us and we'll show you. So I think it's kind of I think the problem is also part of the solution, depending on your attitude on how you're seeing things right now.
I'll kind of just keep it blanket statement, all right? I'll use kind of the same phrase that we've said in the show, the greatest discipleship opportunity of our lifetime. I think that a red flag we're facing, greatest discipleship opportunity of our life. There's a reason for that. It's because of a lot of red flags out there.
Yep.
But also a green flag, greatest discipleship opportunity of our life. That might seem kind of like a cop-out.
No, it's
There's
not.
a lot wrong in the world, but we have the answer.
Yeah.
That's the green flag. That's the green flag for me. So that's what I would say for red flag, green flag today. But moving on to the conclusion here, I just want to say, as we're moving and stepping into more structure and more intentionality and really just leaning into wanting to do our best here on the Daily Carry podcast. We want to maximize our time. We want to maximize the time of the listeners out there. We want to make every single episode something that is just worth tuning into if you're online. We want to do, like we just talked about, everything we do, we want to do with all of our might. We also want to lean into God, trusting that he's going to help us and help our conversations to affect positive change into this world in a way that he intends. But I would just encourage the audience that's been with us and that is with us on this episode today. We appreciate you, and we thank you for joining us every episode that we've had so far. And if this is your first time listening, just know that we appreciate you listening, and we would ask if you're willing to comment, to like, to subscribe, to share, and help us grow this show. We believe in what we're doing here. We believe in the Daily Carry, and we want to do everything we can to be a positive outlet in this world that clearly needs as much positivity as we can get.
Well, amen. I mean, realistically, we're kind of repurposing a little bit. We're not losing the context, the meaning of the design behind it. We're actually growing it. The whole point behind this was we've done 60 episodes. Victor Marks was our last episode, and one of the takeaways for me was that when he walked in and he sat down and he started sharing from his heart and his conviction, he literally talked about many of the things that we just talked about today. Obviously, in a paraphrased format. Where he's throwing paragraph after paragraph out and going, hey, look, this is what we're facing right now. And it was very easy to walk away from that and go, man, we need to be talking to this stuff and breaking it down. Because that right there, from a governor's standship, that I think that's exactly what he's doing so very, very well. And he is displaying topic after topic after topic, and it really breaking down not only where he's come from, why we're doing what we're doing within our run for governor, but also where the state is at and what we need to do for next steps. And this kind of follows that flow a little bit from my perspective. But I think we're going to have fun. Once we find our niche and our way here in a couple episodes, that we'll be off to the races. This is a fun change right now.
Yeah. Well, listeners, please let us know your thoughts on how this episode went. Let us know your thoughts and suggestions, any of the segments, any of the feedback that we have from you. We appreciate that. And we want to make sure that we can continue to deliver to you the best version of this show we possibly can. So
Amen.
I'm ready to close out if you are, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Lord, thank you for another opportunity to sit down and to have a conversation. There's a lot going on in this world, but the most important thing is that you are on this world with us, and you're inviting those who are willing to turn to you and to walk with you. I pray, Lord, for every listener. I pray for everyone out there. I pray for every situation, every bit of conflict in this world. I pray, Lord, that somehow, some way, you'd let men and women rise to the occasion, rise to the challenge, and walk with you, and let this world see you on full display, see faith on full display. I pray that you would move people closer to you, and that you'd let people choose you in a world that is so desperate for purpose, for identity, for peace. I pray that you'd help people to continue to be led to you, Lord. I pray that you'd help us to walk toward you and help us to carry everything that we're supposed to carry daily, and I pray that you'd help us to carry it well. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen. Till next time.
Till next time.
I can't